Hi, Sony. First of all, congratulations. My name's Nayeli Lopez with AP As We See It. I'm from the DMV, so welcome. What do you look forward to coming into the Commanders and playing alongside Jaden Daniels?
I'm super excited. A lot of great people in the building on the staff. I'm sure there's great players as well in terms of who they are off the field. Obviously a lot of talented guys in the building, including Jaden Daniels. I think when you got a quarterback that's part of your organization, you got a really good chance of winning the whole thing. So I'm super excited to get to work.
Sonny here in the second row. Who was the biggest influence on your career up to this point? And did you get to share that with them after you got the call?
My dad, for sure. My dad and my mom, just the whole upbringing since I was working for this since I was 4 or 5 years old, showing me what it looks like to work hard, be disciplined, and chase my dreams, especially my dad, that's my superhero. So I appreciate him so much, and my mom as well. That's my rock.
Sonny, how are you looking to make an impact at the next level? We were able to see everything you did at Ohio State and at the Combine. How do you want to translate that over into the NFL?
Yeah, I think it starts with coming in the building, doing things the right way, working hard, being accountable, being consistent, and people can rely on you. They can rely that you're going to do your job, be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be, and just do all the right things on the field. Mistakes are going to happen, but learn from them and keep getting better. And they should be obsessed with winning and just help the team win by any means necessary.
Sonny, Chris Brown here with the Mark Network. You and I had a long walk from the field to the buses yesterday, and we talked about your faith and your grandma. I want everybody else here to hear how your faith has shaped you into the man you are today.
Yeah, especially when I got to college, I feel like I started to step a little bit more into that. Seeing guys on the team, who you could see Christ through them. And they had this light about them, especially, I remember Cameron Babb, one of my teammates, had a bunch of ACL tears, things like that, supposed to be a great receiver. And seeing the joy he had, it made me want to get some of that. And, I saw Christ through him, and he kind of one of the guys that led me to, stepping a little bit deeper into my faith.
Hi.
Hi.
What part of your game do you think will translate the best in the pros?
I think versatility. I think it's the name of the game. You see all these exotic defenses, that are given a multitude of looks. They're unpredictable and all these things. And I think to be unpredictable, you have to have guys who can do these different roles, because you can never assume what someone's doing on the field. You have no idea. I could be blitzer, I could be running deep middle, I could be covering the tight end. I think I can do all those different things at a high level. And I'm excited to go work with Coach Quinn and Coach Jones. Obviously they know what that looks like to have a great defense. And we got great guys on that side of the ball, so I can't wait to work with them.
Hi, Sonny. Are you going to have a suggestion for the Commanders about drafting your brother Lorenzo?
Yeah, of course. I remember talking to the special team coach about him. He said he loved him. So hopefully when I see him, I can tell him to make a good decision on that one. I'd love to have him here, a 2-for-1 package. Wherever he goes, though, he's gonna be great.
Hi, Molly O'Malley here with the Flame Within podcast. You mentioned faith, and I was just wondering, your message of how you keep faith at the forefront through your journey and now into the NFL.
Yeah, I think with this game, especially playing at a high level in college, it's very easy to be consumed and it take over your identity, and you just become a football player. And I think, when I was in college, playing at the highest level of college football, I had to find myself and find what my foundation was, and that is faith. That's Christ. And I think when you have that foundation, through all the ups and downs of the games, of the game, you can still have true joy. And I think it helps you play free as well. So.
The Commanders have a rich history at the linebacker position, most notably London Fletcher and most recently Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
Do you model your game after either one of them?
Obviously they're some of the best to ever do it. So of course, I'd love to step into those shoes and fill them. But a lot of work to be done to get there. Those guys are historic players. I'm pretty sure London is the all-time leading tackler in the whole NFL, and Bobby's right up there with them. So I'm hoping to get there one day. But it takes a lot of work to get there. So you got to start with baby steps.
So during the combine process, you had many teammates that were coming along with you. How much easier was it to go through the combine knowing that you had your college teammates with you by your side?
Yeah, I mean, seeing familiar faces, makes the circumstance a little bit more comfortable. But, I was excited to be out there, compete with my guys, be out here today, hear everyone's name get called. It's a blessing. I'm proud of everyone, and I can't wait to see what everyone does.
How you doing over here? With Tom Long with the Disability Channel to your left. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Congratulations
Thank you.
from the Ohio State. I got two great friends that love the fact that you got picked today in the top 10, Sawyer and Darwin. So what are you looking forward to the most once you step onto the field?
I'm just excited to compete. It's been a dream of mine to play in the NFL. But that wasn't the only part of the dream. I hope to do great things in this league, help the team win. I think when you chase success, the success of the team, all the personal accolades will come. So that's just what I'm focused on. I'm just focused on winning. Can't wait to build a bond with these guys on the team. These are going to be my brothers. Can't wait to build a bond with the staff. So I'm super excited.
Last question.
Congratulations, Sonny.
Thank you.
How has Ohio State shaped you as a player and as a person?
Yeah, I think Coach Day, Coach Mick, the whole coaching staff, they develop us, like you said, as men. Teach us what it means to be disciplined, to be accountable. And we talk about how to treat women, all these different things that really they don't necessarily relate to football. But, I think when you're a good person off the field and you do things the right way, it can show up in the game a lot of times. And they really helped me develop as a man. Obviously I had my parents for 18 years, but I came into the building as a 17-year-old kid, and they walked away as a grown man. So I really appreciate them. Obviously the development on the field. We have the best coaching staff in America. Right now we have 4 NFL former coaches on the staff. So we got the best development in all of America. So I really appreciate them. I think all the guys you're seeing to get their name called today from Ohio State, that doesn't happen by accident.
Thank you, Sonny. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.